What up, guys? Oregon Magic here, and I'm back with another deck tech for you. This one's going to be a green-black budget deck tech. It's also a saproling deck, so I've been having fun with it ever since pre-release. I cracked it and I saw a bunch of the pieces, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to share my crazy thoughts. Let's just see what you guys think of the deck. Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe. And I'm going to start with the creature base here. And the creature base is 3 Lion or Elves to start the day. Because you can't be in green right now without a Lion or Elf. It's going to boost you ahead a full turn on mana. Or it's going to draw out a removal spell. So, Spore Crown Thyad is a 2/2 2-drop that gives each other fungus or sapling a 1/1. So, you're going to be making a bunch of tokens in this deck, and you're going to do a lot of stuff with them. Attacking is one of the things that you should be doing with them. So, getting a boost on them is always a good thing. And you run 4 of them, so the ability stacks. You can have some big saplings by the time the late game comes around. 4 copies of Slimefoot Stowaway. He's a 2/3 legendary creature. Whenever a sapling you control dies, Slimefoot the Stowaway deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Also, you have the ability to pay 4 and create a sapling. Thyad Soothslayer. He's a fungus. He's also a 2/3 with an ability that you pay 2, sacrifice the creature, and draw a card. Thyad Armivore. This is another sack outlet, but this time you pay 1 and he gets a +2/+2. And if it's a sapling that was sacrificed, remember, you're going to have a lot of them. You're going to gain 2 life each time. So, smart blocks with good sacrifices makes this guy jump out. He gets huge, and he also gains you a bunch of life. So, I mean, it was one of the better pieces in the deck. It helps make everything come together. You don't want to undercut that, so I put 3 copies of it. Going all 4 copies of the Tendershoot Dryad. Okay, so this card, there's a lot to talk about on this card. He's a 2/2 with Descend. Alright, that's not that great. But if he sticks around, your saplings get +2/+2. You have a whole bunch of them, so, I mean, that's real good. That can end the game real quick. And at the beginning of each upkeep, so both yours and your opponent's upkeep, you will be making a sapling token. So, I mean, it's real easy to get out of control. It's also real easy to get Ascend and get the City's Blessing for the +2/+2. So, I mean, yeah, I run 4 copies just so I can get multiple copies out. Because you get multiple copies out, this gets gross quick. You're making more creatures than your opponent ever imagined. He's a good card. I throw him as a 1-of little silver bullet copy because he is technically a sapling producer. So keep the tokens coming, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's all 21 of the creatures. It's a pretty solid creature base. You start dropping saplings and any of these funguses or dryads, it gets ugly quick. You flood out the board. And the deck does have a lot of resiliency and a few tricks. So next I'm going to talk about the artifacts and enchantments I decided to go with for the deck. Because, yeah, there's some fun stuff going on here. I went with 3 copies of Harlequin. I know, budget deck, but this card has dropped a lot. Still holds the value. I mean, it's a 2-drop 4/4 with the crew. Flying Vigilance. Don't have any Planeswalkers in the deck, but that's not going to hurt us because most of the time we're not even going to be using it for its ability. We're using it for the crew. I'll explain that when I get to my next card. You can attack with it. It's not going to hurt nothing. I mean, crewing is instant speed, so you got that. And yeah, so it's a 4/4 flying vigilance. It's always there. You're making a bunch of little saplings, so you're going to be plussing him or crewing him up and swinging with him, or crewing him up and blocking with him if we have a pesky flyer in the way. There is not a lot of resiliency main board for flyers, so you got to kind of watch out for that a little bit. So Harder fit in the slot for the position I was looking for. So I'm going to run 3 copies of that. And this one might surprise most people. It might just be under most people's radar at the moment. But I'm adding 2 copies of Throne of the God Pharaoh. Throne of the God Pharaoh is a legendary artifact. It says at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. Go back here for a second. Crew, you can tap any number of creatures you control with power 3 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So, if you got your opponent at a low life, all you really have to do is crew the Heart of Corinne before your end step, and you're going to do direct damage to him. I don't see, like, when I play, I've won several games by tapping to crew and then moving to my end step. Not even swinging. They had a 5/5 angel in the way. Crewed, went to end step, did 8 direct damage because I had 8 saplings that I could tap into it. 3 copies of Path of Discovery. It is a 4-drop enchantment that says whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, or whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it explores. So Path of Discovery, you know, you're bringing in a lot of saplings. So each time you get to explore, you either put a 1/1 counter on it, or you filter, or you get a land, or sapling migration. It's good early game. Get a couple of dudes out there and sit back for a second, waiting for maybe the 3-drop slime foot to come back out so that you can get some quick damage across. Or late game, you play it for 6 with this kicker, and you get 4 tokens. And if you got something like, I don't know, the Explore enchantment out, well, there you go. Now you got 4 tokens that are going to explore 4 times, which gives you card advantage, and it lets you pick basically what you want to play and what you don't. You can throw it in the graveyard and it's not going to hurt nothing. But I mean, yeah, it's a great card, early game or late game. The only thing I really don't like about it is its sorcery speed, but with this deck, you really don't have to worry about that because you're doing so much stuff that sorcery speed doesn't hurt you. So 3 copies of Spalding Migration. 3 copies of Spore Storm. Spore Storm is a 4-drop instant, create 3/1/1 sapling tokens. So once again, you're making a bunch of saplings. You're flooding the board. With your creatures, you're going to make them big, and you're going to be able to do damage with them. So there's always a cycle, something going on. You're going to have something going on at all times in this deck. I know it seems like a real low to the ground budget deck, but it does the trick. It wins games. 3 copies of Vicious Offering. Once again, you're going to have plenty of creatures for the kicker. Neg5 deals with 90% of the meta right now. So a 2-drop Neg5, it deals with Hazaret, no longer indestructible, isn't the worry. 3 woodland cemeteries with 8 swamps and 11 forest. Alright, on to the sideboard. Got your 4th copy of Spore Swarm. 4th copy of Vicious Offering. 2 copies of Vanna's Hunger, 2 copies of Hour of Glory, 1 Never to Return, 2 copies of Soul Savage, 3 Naturalize, and last but not least, 3 copies of Blossoming Defense. But that's about all I got for today. Oregon Underground Magic. Check me out on Patreon, Facebook. I'm on all kinds of stuff. Just look me up. Oregon Underground Magic. I'm everywhere. Like, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next time. Let me know. Am I doing good? Am I doing crappy? Tell me to go screw myself if you want. Hey, comments are cool. I've been waiting for one. Alright, talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Like always, guys, remember, good luck and have fun.